look a mess. I look a mess. I didn't sleep good. I was up too late, and then I had to get up this morning because I am cooking. So some of you guys said that you wanted to see some cook with me, so I just decided, since I was making cornbread dressing, that I would share with you. Now, I do need to let you guys know, this ain't the way that my grandma nor my mother did it. The way they did it is they would make cornbread, obviously from scratch, which I did. But hi y'all, hi, I look a mess, I'm cooking. So thank you so much for tuning into Carol's Daily Sauce. So what you guys said, some of you said that you wanted me to do cook with me's, and considering this is a holiday, that's what I'm doing. I'm actually going to be doing, what did I say before I got on? A compilation. So it's going to be I am going to be cooking cornbread dressing. I'm also, or stuffing, I don't know. I say dressing. I already got collard greens on the stove. If somebody needs to know how to make collard greens, let me know. I'll show you how I make them. So what I did is I already cooked the cornbread. So the cornbread, I'm going to show y'all, is in the pan here, and I'm just breaking it up. Now, let me explain to you what my mother and my grandmother used to do. My mother is still living, praise the Lord for that. But my grandmother used to do her cornbread from scratch, and then, you know, the cubes that you use with the bread. My grandmother would use that. So what I'm doing is I'm using chicken stovetop, only because I like the seasonings and I want that bread, and I add that in here. But what I do first is I make my cornbread and I cook it on the, so check this out. This is what we do. So prior to me making my stovetop, I take bell pepper, and depending on how big, I'm doing a pan about this big, I take a half of a big bell pepper, and this is all optional. I take a onion about that big, a white onion, and if you want garlic, I just use some minced garlic. I'm a garlic fanatic, you guys. And so I took all of that and chopped that up and sauteed it with some butter. Yes, I did. And then after I did that, then I decided to put the stovetop cubes, bread cubes in there. And a lot of times people think you're making stovetop. No, I'm not. Stovetop would be if I made the stovetop stuffing and I put the oil or the butter and I just served it like that. No. What I do is I make cornbread, as I've done, and I'm breaking the cornbread up in small pieces because I have to have the cornbread in it. I'm really not that much of a dressing eater. I'm not a big bread eater. Now, I do like sweets and things, but as far as like cornbread and stuff like that, with greens and stuff, I don't have to have that. I don't have to have cornbread with my chili or with my beans. I do better with rice, but I'm going to be on keto come after the holiday, probably after Thanksgiving, and then for Christmas, I'll probably stop and then resume again. But anyway, we've got the cornbread and we've kind of like broke it up, and I'm still trying to work with it. But what you need is you need a half of a bell pepper, a big bell pepper. You need one medium-sized onion, a white onion, and you need poultry seasoning. You need thyme, and you also need what else is that you need? You need sage. That's what you need. And you obviously are going to, some people like sage much more than others like sage. I like a lot of it, but you're going to put that in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this off, and I'm going to get the other stuff, and I'm going to just walk you guys through while we're doing it. Okay, you guys, I'm back. So I'm not going to keep pressing on this, but anyway, y'all, this is my big cast iron skillet, and this is that old stove top. Now what I did is I told you guys the pot ain't hot no more because I did it a while ago. I'm gonna mix it in here, and this is literally, you guys, one box. That's one box that I'm putting in to the pan with the cornbread. I'm putting all of this in here, and the pan ain't hot. It is a cast iron pan, one of them old school ones, y'all. And This is how it looks. So now I'm going to take this off of me and put it on here, so y'all can see what I'm doing. Y'all see that? Look at there. Okay, see, I love a good, okay, y'all see how I'm mixing that? That's the key. Right here in this cup, I have right here, bouillon. That's bouillon. And so what I did, like I said, is I baked the cornbread, and the consistency, the key to cornbread dressing is what I call it, and making sure that it's right, y'all, is having enough liquid and stuff in it. Some people like giblets and stuff like that in theirs, and that's okay. You know, however you like to eat yours, and you can add that in here after you do that. And you do know that the giblets and the parts and things that come out of the turkey, you do know you need to cook that before, and cook it a long time, because those are organs and they need to be cooked a good while before you put them in here. The one reason I don't put a lot of meat in my cornbread dressing is I found that it goes bad quick for me. Last time so if you guys look at that, y'all see that? So I also use this. I tried to look for, see that? Cream of chicken. And I tried to look for cream of celery. That's what happens when you wait till the day before. You have a hard time. So you can also use, let me scoot up. Ooh, look, y'all can see my little tum-tum. You can also use, you can use a can of the cream of, this stuff right here, I like it don't want to come out. Cream of, the cream of celery as well. But I did, y'all know what? Speaking of the cream of celery, y'all gonna have to hold on, because I actually did not put no celery in this. And I mean, I got to have celery. So what you want to do is you want to do cream of chicken, as I have here. You want to put your half of, I'm just going to use a half of this cup of bouillon for right now. Now let me get up, y'all, and I'm going to get this, I'm going to go in, oh yeah, this is going to be good and moist and right. I'm going to go, you know what, I'm going to put this in here, because this still has a lot of, I used to see my mother doing this, and I used to be like, Mama, why are you doing that? But I know now the reason that I'm doing this is so I can get the remaining out of this can. Okay, y'all see that? Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, I'll be right back. What I'm gonna do is just stir all this up, get everything stirred up. All of the sage, poultry seasoning, and all of that, I actually put it in with my vegetables. Well, not with my vegetables, but with my, what is it called? When I made the stovetop, I put the seasonings and stuff in with that. And the way I did it, we ended up going out the other day and actually getting, put this over here. We ended up going out the other day and actually getting fresh rosemary, thyme. I think there was rosemary, thyme. I think there was basil. And we ended up going to get that. And you guys know what? If you've never used it fresh, go ahead and get it. I only had to put a little bit, but a little bit went a long, long way. Now, y'all know this is bread. So because it's bread, it has to be seasoned right. And so after I do this, stir it up and all that good stuff, I am going to taste it to make sure it's right. As far as the moisture, it does look good. I can't stand no dry dressing. And I'm not one of them kind of test stuff with the same spoon that I'm cooking with. That's nasty. But y'all see how this is? And then all I do is just do it like this. So what you want to do is you want a half a bell pepper, a half a bell pepper. First, let me try it to make sure the seasoning is right, y'all. Hold on real quick. You know, we always got to have an excuse to taste something. It needs some doctoring up. I'll be right back. So put some of that in there. And I use a lot of sage, y'all, a lot. I already did poultry seasoning. Let me do that. And after I finish doing this is black pepper. For some reason, I cannot get this black pepper top open, and it is a beast trying to use this. So that's why y'all hear me squeezing it. But after, and this right here is my favorite. I love garlic powder anything, y'all. Ooh, garlic powder anything. So I do put a lot of that in there. I just don't like this sweet taste. That's why I don't be liking to use. But see, my husband likes everything sweet. Everything, he, you know, if it were up to him, he wouldn't have no problem with it being sweet. Now, I will tell you this much. I do like cranberry sauce on my stuff. So once again, what we do is we make a cornbread. I would not suggest Jiffy. Y'all, I gotta sneeze, hold on. That's that pepper. Excuse me. I would not suggest Jiffy. I would definitely suggest, you know, your mother's favorite recipe of cornbread, or maybe a cornbread mix. They have it on the back of the cornmeal box if you don't have your own favorite recipe. But anyway, this consistency is really, really good because once it cooks, it's going to firm up. And this is a good, y'all see that? That's a good consistency. I'm gonna go wash the spoon off and I'm gonna try it again. So got my ladle, and we have hot noodles that I actually, okay y'all, these are hot noodles, and let me tell you something about a hot noodle. You're supposed to cool them off. I ain't getting back up. So what I'm gonna do, see this right here, this whole thing of butter, a whole stick of butter. We're making some macaroni and cheese. We're gonna put this whole stick of butter in here. Y'all, I know that's fattening, but hey, you know, just the way we do it. I do put eggs in my macaroni and cheese, so I have to actually get these noodles cooled down before I put the eggs, or we're gonna have some scrambled eggs. But this right here is just a packet of macaroni and cheese elbow noodles, and I use evaporated milk, 1 can. And I use lots and lots. I won't use this whole, this is 8 cups of cheese. I won't use this. But I use Colby Jack, I use cheddar, and I use mozzarella. I don't put any salt on it. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm gonna make sure that the butter is thoroughly melted into the noodles, okay? And while this butter is melting, I do put black pepper. I don't put any salt because cheese has a lot of salt in it. So a lot of people like to use white pepper in their macaroni and cheese, it doesn't bother me. This is garlic powder. I told y'all I'm a garlic powder fanatic, so I put that in there. If you're not garlic powder, it's all optional. And y'all, every time I season, I have to sneeze, so hopefully it'll pass. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and mix this up because I don't put any more seasonings. I don't put onions. I think that's disgusting. I know people who actually literally put onions and all that kind of stuff in their macaroni and cheese. I'm not doing it. But what you don't want to do is you don't want your noodles to cool down so much that they won't be able to melt your cheese. A lot of times people put Velveeta cheese. I don't put Velveeta cheese in my macaroni and cheese at all. Neither do I use Velveeta. I am the daughter of a Southern mother. My mother is from Grand Bay, Alabama. And y'all see, look, the noodles are already cooled down. They're not even melting this cheese. I mean, they're melting it somewhat, but not a whole bunch. It's okay. It's okay because we don't want them too hot because the noodles literally can scramble the eggs if the noodles are too hot. And I actually cooled them off, but obviously didn't, cool them off too much. Okay, so I'm gonna also go ahead and open up. Oh, I'm telling you, my allergies. I don't mind cooking, but I don't do too well with the seasonings. So the evaporated milk is trial and error. I only put half in it for right now. And just kind of mix this up with the butter and the seasonings. And then this cheese that I just put in was just a mozzarella, a white soft cheese. And then I have this big one, and it has Colby, it has cheddar, it has all kinds of cheeses in it. So I just sporadically put a lot of cheese. Now, some people, my mom used to use block cheese. If you desire to use block cheese, fine. But I mean, I just wasn't doing all that. It's a lot of cooking going on. I've been in this kitchen now. I had no intentions either of being in this kitchen like this, but I've been in this kitchen a good while. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to stir all of this together, get this all stirred together. And the other milk that I have, because it looks dry, this is not the way it's gonna look. What I should have done, you guys, I'm gonna go and come back because I am going to take this out of here and I'm gonna show you an easier way to do it. Rest of the evaporated milk in there. A lot of times people have a tendency to put what is that called? They have a tendency to put what am I trying to say? They have a tendency to put Philadelphia cream cheese. I don't like that, y'all. That's too rich for me. That is too rich. Some people put sour cream. I don't do all that. I do. Oh, y'all, I'm so tired. Ooh, I look like a person now, y'all, because I have on light. Earlier today, I looked so dark. Now I'm so tired. I'm so tired. Okay, so got my little pot here. Well, it's not a little pot. I want y'all to see the pot. I've seen Carol's big head already, so we're doing sweet potato pie. Now, let me tell you guys really, really quick what I have already cooked. I have already cooked a cake. I've already cooked 2 banana puddings. I have already, well, prepared, because banana pudding, you don't have to cook unless you do custard, and I know how to do it like that, but I cheated this time. I made a pan of macaroni and cheese. I made a pan of cornbread dressing. I made a cake. I made 2 banana puddings, or prepared, because I didn't cook the custard. I made a big old pot of collard greens, and I gotta tell y'all, they're so good. I just had them. And you guys know what the key to my collard greens is I put a serrano pepper in it. I also, what else did I do? So, let me see. I'm gonna have to go wash my hand too, because I just scratched my head. Macaroni and cheese, dressing, cornbread dressing, and this is all homemade. Yeah. Collard greens, a cake.
My mother-in-law is doing turkey overnight. We also have ham, which I am cooking. And right now, what I'm going to do is just go really, really quick and show you guys, okay, what I do. So I get a bowl. Here's my big, deep yellow bowl. I've been using it all day. Finally cleaned up the kitchen. The kitchen looks wonderful. Y'all gonna have to excuse me real quick because I gotta wash my hands. I keep scratching my head.
Sweet potatoes. Here are the sweet potatoes right here. See, they were real soft, and now they're not. I always do mine like this. If you do yours like this, if you do yours a different way, so be it. You know what? I really, honestly, and truly don't think there's a right or wrong way. It's the way that you do it. If you see right here, they're very tender. Look how easy I can cut that. So I do that, and I do this. Look how pretty that sweet potato is. Okay, so I take half, take my little spoon with the holes in it here, and I just go ahead and put it all in the bowl. And so I do that, throughout the whole process. Now let me tell you what I don't like. Y'all, the one thing I hate about sweet potato pie is I do not like them strings. I don't like those strings. People say when you do big sweet potatoes, that's when that happens. I don't know, because these little bad boys right here, they even had strings in them. I think I said to you guys earlier that I am going to be going on keto, and I won't even be able to eat potatoes. But anyway, so that's what I do. I just split it. Well, this one right here, we don't have to split. See, that one's already split. And I do, I do that. And look at this one. This one is not as orange as the other one. And they actually probably cooked a good, and I let them cool off because I got kind of tired. So I let them cool off. What I do, so I'm just gonna try to make this really, really easy for you guys. And when I come back, I will have prepared sweet potato pies. So this is going to be enough for 4 pies, okay? It is a 5-pound bag of sweet potatoes. What you need is you need evaporated milk. Yes, you need evaporated milk. Y'all, my fingernails look busted. I'm gonna polish them for cinnamon, you need nutmeg, and you need allspice. You also need a stick of butter, okay? You need 2 tablespoons of vanilla flavoring. Y'all, I had the vanilla flavoring on the table. I brought everything over here, okay? So you need 2 tablespoons of vanilla flavoring. And if you are using a imitation, you would need to double it, okay? After you peel all the potatoes and you get the potatoes, all the meat from out of the inside of the potatoes, you are going to, you can mash them, you can blend them, however it is that you want to do to break the potatoes down. You put the butter in it. You're gonna definitely put the butter in it right after you take the skin off, because you need for the potatoes to, and this one right here got cooked for real. You need for the potatoes to be hot so that they can melt the butter. If in fact the potatoes cool off too much, if you allow them to cool off too much, no worries. The only thing you have to do is you just have to warm the butter up. I'm sorry, you have to, warm the butter up and put it on. Now, you also need eggs in this. So the key, like I said, with the macaroni and cheese is not cooking the eggs. So what I normally do is I do the potatoes, I do the condensed milk, I do the butter, everything all at once, and then I put the eggs in. I also take a half of a fresh lemon and I put fresh lemon juice, half of a lemon. It's just something about the lemon in a sweet potato pie. Now, not everybody likes it like that. Not everybody even knows about that, but I love a sweet potato pie with lemon in it. So you need a 5-pound bag of sweet potatoes. I don't use those big sweet potatoes. I did use them when I lived in Virginia and I could go to the farm and actually pick them. But here in California, because everything is imported here to us, I don't fool with the big sweet potatoes. Like I said, they have the strings in them. At the top of it, you see that little eye right there? That's what we call them. We call them eyes. I make sure that I get those eyes off because I don't want to see nothing dark in my sweet potato pie. And I want you guys to know, this is my favorite. This is my favorite pie. Out of peach cobbler and everything, this is my favorite pie for the holidays. So I believe a 5-pound bag of sweet potatoes would work for 4 pies. I know it would, because once you put milk in here, or your evaporated milk in here, once you put your butter and all that kind of stuff, it's going to yield a lot of filling for your pie. So once again, we're going to go over a can of evaporated milk. You may find that you need more, and it just depends, because it depends on how big your potatoes actually are, okay? If you like really buttery pie, I would recommend 1 stick of butter. If you have to be butter down, you can use a 1.5 sticks. I wouldn't do any more than that. So you want a 1.5 cans of evaporated milk. You want a 1.5 sticks of butter. You want 2 tablespoons of vanilla flavoring. You want a half a teaspoon of nutmeg. You want a full teaspoon of cinnamon. Now the cinnamon and the nutmeg are pretty tricky because sometimes the nutmeg can override the cinnamon. You don't want that. You don't want the nutmeg should complement the cinnamon, not override it. In a sweet potato pie, in a sweet potato pie, in a peach cobbler pie, nutmeg should never override anything. It's too strong of a spice. So once you get all of your sweet potatoes, you melt your butter down, you put your condensed milk in there, you put your spices in there, you put your vanilla flavoring in there, you whip it, whether you whip it with a manual blender, a manual mixer, or with your hand. I do everything, you guys, with my hand. And then you put it in your pie crust. I buy my pie crust. I don't make it. No. I do make it for sweet potato pie, for peach cobbler. But before you put your sweet potato filling in your pie crust, you want to make sure that your pie crust is browned. So put it in an oven of about, I would say, 345, 350 for about 2 minutes so it can brown. And then you put your filling in it, and then you're gonna cook your pie probably for about 35, 40 minutes until it kind of gets like a little peak on the top of it. Muggsy, stop. And that's it. So what I'm gonna do is get off of here so that I can mix everything up. And after I mix everything up and put it in I'm not gonna come back after I mix everything up. I probably should come back so you guys can see the consistency. Yeah, I'll come back so you can see the consistency. And then After that, I'll bake it and then I'll show you guys the finished product. But that's just a few things. On Christmas, we have decided that we are going, I got to cut I don't like those strings, y'all, so I'll have to, sometimes I have to go in and cut that out. There's one right here. I call them strings, eyes, whatever you want to call them. I have to cut that mess out. But I promise you, you will love the sweet potato pie. One thing about the girl right here, she can cook. She can cook. My mama's from Alabama, y'all. And honey, there is none. The only thing I think my mother cooks that I don't like is liver, and that was as a child. I don't eat liver now either, but liver and asparagus. That's the only two things. I used to hate her vegetables, but I absolutely love vegetables now. So I am going, well, you know what? I'm gonna just go ahead and work this magic here. Stick of butter, because you want to put that butter in there first and get that butter melted. That's what you want to do. The potatoes should be soft enough to where once you put the butter inside of the mix with the potatoes, it should be melting. And this is gonna melt because these potatoes are still steaming. Let me show y'all what I've done so far. Y'all see that so far? See that? There we go. We're just gonna mix. For those of you who never made sweet potato pie or never made a meal for Thanksgiving, maybe you're, you're just now moving out, maybe you're just newly married. The one thing that I would love to tell you guys is this: do not use Jiffy cornbread as your do not use Jiffy cornbread as your cornbread mix. There are several kind of mixes that you can use. You can use mixes like, I know here in California we have Marie Callender's, but you don't want to use Jiffy cornbread mix, because actually if you use any mix, what's going to end up happening with the mixes a lot of times, that's why I don't like to use the mixed cornbread mixes, is because they make it too sweet, and I don't like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and go, you guys, so I can get this done. I will definitely get back with you guys and let you know how everything turned out, let you see how the pies look. But if there are any questions, go ahead and put them in the comment section, and we'll get this cooking thing down back, because I know how to do it. I'll talk to y'all real soon. Be back in a little bit.
Hey you guys, I forgot to add the pie, but I have went ahead and put it in. Hopefully everybody had a very nice Thanksgiving, and I'm hoping that this video will be very helpful to some of you who said that you wanted a cook with me video. So on this video, I have shown you how I make my cornbread dressing, macaroni and cheese, and sweet potatoes. And if there's something else and I cook it, let me know and I'll be able or be willing to share with you all. Have a wonderful and blessed day. I'll talk to you all real soon. Bye-bye.